Impromptu speaking. All right. Are you ready to do some impromptu speaking? That's 1 minute to think and two
Yes,
minutes to
brother.
talk. All right.
Okay, so a common theme throughout my life has been cultural identity. I know that sounds boring, but it's totally not. I'm half Egyptian and half Austrian, just like Tamer. And I grew up in Canada, just like Tamer. And so, in a lot of instances, I ask myself and have been asked, like, culturally, where do you feel like you are from? Like, what are you? And I've somehow gravitated, even though I've lived most of my life either in Canada or in Austria, I've gravitated towards saying that I'm Egyptian because I'm very, 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 very intensely proud of not just being Canadian and not just being Austrian, but also being Egyptian. And the way that my character is and my also way of storytelling to me is quintessentially, this is going to sound very grandiose, but Egyptian. And I can sum all of this up in a story which happened to me very recently, just a few weeks ago. I was in Cairo, in the place where I was born, and I was visiting my relatives who I hadn't seen in a long time and who I love very much, and we have very much fun together. However, one afternoon I told my auntie that I would be spending a few hours by myself. So I went off shopping, and then I found myself because I got lost on a 6-lane highway bridge, and I didn't know what to do. And a group of Chador girls, so they had long black dresses, came up to me and asked them if they spoke English, and they said yes. And they said, "Don't worry, Riem. It's not because you're not Egyptian that you don't know where you are right now. Every Egyptian doesn't know where they are right now on this bridge. It's brand new, and it's not on any of the apps." And that was something that reassured me as far as my cultural identity in so many sweet ways. It was kind of poignant.
All right. Well done. Well timed out. Listen, on the point of um your cultural identity, I consider myself a free agent. I always think I'm whatever I need to be whenever I need to be it. And so I find that I'm it's kind of liberating because I don't have to, I'm not tied down to all the expectations of a certain culture. And and yeah, I'm free just to be myself. And what do you feel like that too?
Totally. Yeah, totally. But I am, I don't know, not just drawn to, but I don't know, in my makeup, the older I get now at the age of 53, the more, I don't know if this happens to you because of aging or how your brain develops, as our father would say. But I do find myself more drawn to, I know this sounds ridiculous, but an Egyptian sensibility or an Egyptian, I don't know, way of thinking, feeling.
Yeah. Well, it is. They're beautiful people. Like I remember you said last week in Egypt, how everyone in Egypt just seemed warm. I remember when I was in Egypt, I was struck by how intelligent everybody was and how able everybody had some kind of political uh acumen, and they were just really sharp-witted and witty and funny. You talked about Egypt vis-a-vis storytelling because it's one of the oldest cultures, and throughout the vast majority of it, it was an oral tradition. There's something about stories that when people start telling stories, people start listening. And why? Because I think it's because there's a survival phrasing in every story, and every story gives you a clue about how to deal with a certain situation, how to get by. And people, I think, file it away just in case I might need that. So I think we become really interested when people tell stories out of a survival instinct. What do you think
Mhm.
about that?
I think you're 1000% correct. And I think that Egyptians, I mean, every kind of culture has, or also nation, has a region, even has its own form of storytelling and has its, special ways of presenting the tales of our generations, right? But I have to say, throughout all these years of life that I've had, and I have investigated many different sorts of storytelling, I have to say, Egyptian is so sovereign. I'm sorry.
Next up, let's spar.